Quiet on set.
Sorry.
And 5, 4, 3, 2.
You're not supposed to say the 2.
You do it. Do it again. Okay.
No, you do it.
I'm just gonna go.
5, 4. Okay, go ahead.
This will be a lot quicker if we just let it go.
Sorry.
This is so much fun.
Hi, this is Matt.
And I'm Eric.
This is Gun Gamers.
Hi, welcome to Gun Gamers. Let's start first off. What are you drinking?
I conned you out of some Balvenie 21 tonight.
That wasn't a con. I offered
Felt
you.
like a con.
Anyway, and I'm drinking Redbreast Lustau edition. Both of these are fantastic whiskeys. Drink them. But we are not here to talk about whiskey. We're here to talk about type of hop-up unit, actually. Now, I was kindly sent this hop-up unit for the purpose of testing and review, but Matt actually has also been using this.
I bought mine like a regular poor person. I got a slightly different one. We got the Maxx hop-up.
Yeah, this is the
version
Maxx
2
model hop-up unit. It's the Pro ME, I think it's called technically.
Yeah, the ME is it is ME, right?
Yeah, this is the ME.
That's the most recent. They've had a few others. They're all like 2-letter abbreviations, but hold it up there. It's Red and ME. That's how you know it's the newest one.
Yeah, there's also the gold version, which I think
Which
is
mine actually, I believe, is gold.
Yes.
The difference is it's Pro, and the only real difference is it came with the LEDs already installed.
Yeah. Whereas this is just the normal one. I have this installed with a Prometheus Type bore barrel, the 6.03, and I have a Crytac bucking and a Crytac hop-up nub in here. So that's the whole setup I'm using, and I'm using this in a Dytac M4 that has a Maxx model air nozzle installed, and we'll talk a little bit about that. I also have a Maxx model trigger in here. These are very nice components. First thing I want to say about this, and I mean, I think both of us can attest to this, the quality of manufacture on this is astounding. Yeah, I mean, the CNC machine quality, the air seal consistency. What are you using yours in?
So I'm using mine in my main rifle, which is my N7 M4, which it's a N7 mechanical system. And it has the Wraith stock on it from Redline.
Yeah. And it has a Wraith stock installed. And in what body?
So that's what I was going to get to. Is it's actually really interesting because you've got a fairly modern body here, right?
Yeah, it's a Dytac, so it's pretty similar to a VFC style of assembly or Crytac style of assembly.
Mine is like the oldest style classic Army M15A4 body with the like shitty little weird needly pins to hook the receivers together. I think my first Classic Army that I got in like 06 was like that. So it's an old body, and this still fits no issues. Nothing had to be milled down or filed down or anything to fit.
Yeah, and really from what I've heard from a lot of people who are using these is the overall consistency of manufacturing quality makes these a very good choice for hop-up unit replacement. Now, I've heard some mixed reports on Crytac compatibility. Some people say that they work great. Some other people say that they're still not quite there. I didn't put this in a Crytac. I haven't tried it in one of my Crytacs, which I probably should. But based on using this in other platforms, I can say that most TM-compatible hop-up units will absolutely accept this. This should fit into most any TM-compatible AEG that's an M4.
Yeah.
And the manufacturing quality is astounding, and the air seal quality is astounding. I mean, what's your FPS variance like?
My FPS variance is, I think, like 7 FPS at worst. There's
with a CO2 stock.
Yeah.
And that's probably just going downward as you lose pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
Very consistent. My shots are all dead nuts on since I put that in. I used to use my Crytac hop-up, which I love and is in like every other version 2 gun I have. But this is just even more consistent.
Yeah, and didn't your Crytac hop-up have some weird fitment with the old-style body you tried?
So there's like 2 styles of the old-style Classic Army. There's the one that's like the long, thin pins, which is what this is in. Mm-hmm. And then there's the other one, which was my Mark 12, which are like a smaller nub kind of pin. And that one, we put a Crytac in, and the first one got jammed in so far, we had to use an old barrel to pop it out. And then we had to put like an inch of rubber buffers to keep it out far enough because it just jammed in there. Whereas this, no issues, fit in both fine.
Yeah, so I mean, compatibility is generally very good.
I think it has to do also with the like 3 springs they have going on. It will bounce off of whatever is on the front of that receiver, the upper receiver. It's not just on the barrel like the.
And it has multiple points that are putting tension back toward the gearbox. So I think that contributes to the quality of the air seal. There's also an O-ring on the back here that just interfaces with the gearbox to further contribute to the quality of the air seal. I mean, the more you look at it, the more a lot of these features were super well thought out and super well designed to just keep the damn thing in place and sealed up tight. I mean, the front has the stabilizer ring for most any inner barrel. There's the 3 springs. There's just the O-rings everywhere. I think overall the air seal quality has been great.
One thing to note with it is the adjustment. It's, what do you call it, the rotary dial style?
Yes.
Which I love. However, it does not click into position.
No, this one does not click.
So firm that it doesn't matter. It doesn't bounce out from shots, I've noticed at least.
If I had to add one feature wish list, I like clicky hop-ups. I do think clicky hop-ups are nice, a little bit more positive retention.
When you're at like 3, you're at exactly 3 every time. You know,
I think a clicky system would be my wish list feature. Also, another weird thing I had with mine. I don't know if this has been the case with yours.
I got a weird thing, so I'm happy to hear.
The batch with mine, mine came with 2 arms. One arm is just like a slightly curved, almost like integrated M nub, and that's meant for use with an R-hop system. Then you get the standard style of arm,
for like C end.
Yeah, where you're able to put a nub in there, and that's meant for use with flat hops or use with standard buckings. I have a Crytac bucking in here, which I found to be a fantastic hop-up bucking, but this is the only hop-up unit I've put a Crytac hop-up bucking and hop-up nub into that I have to crank the hop-up all the way. I mean, it's all the way here at 9, or 10 rather, when I have it in the gun. It's all the way up, basically as high as it can go, and it can just hop .3s.
Okay, so it's interesting you say that, because to like test stuff in my basement and whatever, I use 2s, right? They're cheap. And when I put it together, at first I was having BBs fall out my barrel, and I was like, that's really weird. What's wrong with this? Ended up turning up the hop up, and once I hit about 5 and above, no problems. But it was like, it's so loose. There's 0 tension until I hit 5.
I think the issue is that the arm is built so that it doesn't allow you to over protrude into the hop up bucking. But as a result of that, it means that you don't really have enough engagement to hop heavy BBs. Unless, I mean, maybe this would work with a flat hop, but I know Biggs from Amped, or was it Biggs? It was one of the techs from Amped. He actually posted up in the Amped Discord that he had to modify the hop-up arm with like a little bit of a shim so that he could get enough engagement with a flat hop nub. So I think that the issue is that hop arm just needs a little bit of modification so that you can properly hop, .32s and .36s and whatnot with that standard arm. Now, if you're using it as an R-hop, and you're just using the built-in, custom extended nub that they have with the arm, then that's not a big deal.
Give me your opinion. When you pulled this out of the box, did you feel like this was marketed more for people with R-hops, and were like, also if you use like a normal nub, I guess you could?
Yeah,
that's kind of how the impression.
Well, because it came with the R-hop bit installed,
and like, I can't remember all the instructions. It's been a minute. We took way too long to make this video.
But we've been meaning to do this for like a month.
Yeah. But I feel like when I looked at it, I was just like, oh, okay, that's kind of how this all goes. It was able to put it together. It wasn't, I mean, it's pretty intuitive. It wasn't that hard. But when you first open it, it's a little overwhelming. Especially like the Pro version, you open it, you have like these LED cables, you have this other wire, you have multiple arms, mine came with a nub. I don't know if yours did. And then you're just like, shit, I gotta try to figure out where all this goes. But
I mean, some assembly is required, but honestly, if you're buying something like this, you should know how to put a hop up together. Yeah. It is pretty easy to put together overall.
It is. It was definitely intuitive.
But you will probably need to modify that arm if you are using a flat hop or a standard hop setup to hop, anything over like 0.32s.
You know what I did love, though, is the arm is held in with just a single small screw.
Yes.
So it's not all this crap of like the old version 2 hop-ups where it's like, there's like 2 gears held on with like tension rings.
Yeah.
And then there's one with a shitty little screw that barely works, then plastic gears. This all like, you put the new arm in, you screw it in, and it's done.
Yeah, it's stupid
Very
simple.
nice.
It's really easy to put together. So, like, if you want to do that modification, it's really easy to get to and do.
Yes.
I also don't know if that was batch specific, because I remember talking to the guy from Maxx who I was talking to, named Will, and he said I think they ordered a batch or 2 with that style of arm, and I think that their future might even fix that.
Okay.
But if you have that issue, then you can fix it. Other than that, I have a weird feature that's one that I can really kind of take or leave.
Oh, I love it.
I don't love the BB retention. I love it. And the reason I don't love the BB retention is because I like being able to really quickly and easily just take out my mag, shoot my gun a couple times, and have my gun clear. I don't really like, because actually, if you look at this right here, there was a BB even in that hop-up unit right now. There's no battery or mag in this gun or anything, but you can really easily forget, oh, right, this retains BBs, and I have to clear that out too. And reaching into your mag well to clear it out, a lot of people really love this feature for getting to keep those extra 3 BBs, but I don't give a shit. Just let the fucking BBs drop.
Talking like not one of the poors. 3 BBs, that's a lot of money, Eric.
Oh, yeah?
Talking at least 2
Yeah.
cents.
Maybe. That's I mean, what does a BB cost? Like 1/10 of a cent?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I just think it's a nifty feature, but you do have to be more diligent about whenever you clear your rifle, you have to fire like 4 or 5 times. Make sure it's actually clear.
I'm probably just going to disable this feature somehow.
Hate fun.
Yeah, I do hate fun.
Yeah, because no, with mine, I've shot and I mean, there's no spring down there, but I swear
There is a spring.
Well, no, to like feed another one up.
yeah.
There's no follower, but I'll easily feed the last 2 or 3 even, and they just kind of bounce up in there while you're clearing it. At least in mine.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I took my mag, I shot 1, it's empty. I gotta like make sure it's really, really empty.
Yeah, or hit that
Or
little
hit that
retainer.
button. Yeah.
Now, you are using the tracer kit with yours.
I am using the tracer kit with mine. So I've always wanted a tracer. However, I really love my QD suppressor, and I'm not getting rid of it. So I didn't want to have to put a tracer unit suppressor or have a second one that one's a tracer and this one's not. My rifle's built to be like a old school SOP mod M4, so
Yeah.
I wanted that suppressor. And I know there's tracers out there that go for it, but I didn't want that. So
Because they're like $150.
right, and fuck that. So I opted for this as an option to see, well, how will this work as an internal one? And honestly, the only big downsides, the two downsides are, one, your first round or 2 are not going to be lit. Your
Yeah.
first guaranteed because it's already in the barrel. The second one's dim because it's back here
Yep.
a little. It's not getting all the light. But by your third round, which it's Airsoft, who's shooting 1 round at night? You're putting out some
Yeah.
rounds. Almost as bright as any of the other tracers. We were comparing it side by side with.
It's not quite as bright as like an external Ace Tech unit,
Yeah.
but it is definitely usable, and you definitely can see and track your BBs, especially if you're using night vision.
Yeah, with night vision, it's just magic.
Yeah.
Without, though, it's not like, oh, it barely is visible. It was fine. It wasn't, the sun going down like the Ace
Yeah.
Techs are, but you don't need the sun. You just need to see your BB.
Yeah,
which is
I
fine.
mean, Ace Techs are stupid bright.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not as bright as an external unit, but it is very good for being an internal unit. You're also running it on its own power source, though.
I am.
Yeah, so that could be a variable that could affect our perception.
So the way it's set up out of the box is it comes with a long wire that's supposed to go, you run it, basically there's LEDs on either side on these windows, and it runs down the length of the gearbox. It's supposed to go behind it and under it. Mine didn't even run like that just because of how my gearbox sits with my body. But mine's all HPA because it's the N7, so I ended up just running that cable straight through into my grip because because again, no motor.
Yeah.
And I hooked it up to my own Mini 7.4, like the little JST batteries.
Yeah, like the type you use for a Polar Star FC.
Yeah, so I run it off that in my grip, and it runs fine, but it might be brighter if you ran it off your gun battery, which I went all off track there, but the way it comes is it's set to hook onto motor contacts. So you have like where your normal contacts would like slide on. There's those two other posts that are screws.
So that circuit basically powers the LEDs.
But then you're running. I also didn't like the idea of running my gun and my LEDs off it because that's a constant drain on it, which I don't like. I like extra batteries. But let's see, with the internal, the only other thing you got to be aware of is tolerances on your receivers.
Yes,
it's bright as hell. And it's mostly in your mag well, but that split between the upper and lower receiver, if you don't have that pretty tight, I'd suggest putting some tape or something on the inside because that light leaks out. And it doesn't leak out crazy to like just naked eye, but if they've got nods, you're just sending out a flare.
You might as well be wearing an eye.
And if your mag's out, all the light in the world. So, yeah, but otherwise, it's great. I love it. I love that it's internal. I love that I don't have to have other shit on my rifle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I mean, I think it's a pretty dope hop-up unit.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed with the quality of it. I'm really impressed with the consistency and the performance of it. I think the design just was really well optimized. I view this as the logical successor to what used to be like the go-to upgrade hop-up unit was the Pro-Win unit. But then their quality control has not been good. And I think this is a far superior hop-up unit, in my opinion. I think it does a lot of things really well. And if I'm shopping for a replacement hop-up unit from now on, I think this is going to be the one to go to. I mean, even with like the couple of mean things I said, that it's so easy to work around those couple of things, and the performance and the quality of this and the durability. I mean, this is not going to break.
No.
How would you break this?
The only thing I even have any concern of on mine is where the leads connect to the LEDs, because it's just such a small wire.
Yeah, and that's an electrical issue.
But just be careful and don't rip the upper apart.
Yeah.
You know, be careful when you take your gun apart. Fine.
Yeah, this is...
Otherwise, yeah.
I think this is a great hop-up unit. It's expensive, but if you're really desperately shopping for the best replacement hop-up, I think for whatever quirks you may or may not think it has, I think this is currently my new favorite.
Giving them credit, it feels like they're constantly trying to improve these. I mean, this is what, the third iteration or something of them?
I think this is the second or third, and I think there's even like micro iterations and batch iterations between
They genuinely seem to be trying to make it better every time they build one, where everyone else is like, hey, it worked. That's good.
Yeah, like Pro-Win.
Yeah.
This is apparently the throw shade at Pro-Win video.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
For the prices and the quality.
Yeah. But, so would I recommend this hop-up unit? If you want a replacement hop-up unit, I think this is as good as you're going to get.
I agree. It's absolutely the best I've ever had. It's solid, and it's going to give you solid consistency constantly.
Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, those are our thoughts on the Maxx model hop-up unit. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have had your own experiences with this hop-up unit, you know, good, bad, and different, put that down in the comments. I would love to have this be kind of a resource of people coming and sharing their collected knowledge on these. So, once again, I'm Vinny House.
Lutz.
Peace.
Thank you for watching this video from Gun Gamers. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. Check the description below if you'd like to buy a t-shirt or a patch, and use the coupon code JUDY10 for 10% off of your next order at Amped Airsoft. Thank you again for watching, and praise Judy.